Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hi, and welcome to Christmas time in the city. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we are going to walk the Highline and see how Christmas is treating the elevated pathway. Before we get going, here's a map. What we're doing. That red arrow, obviously, if you've looked at maps before, indicates that's where we are. There's a little bit that we're not going to cover, but we're going to cover most of it all the way down to the meatpacking district. We're currently at Hudson Yards, starting at the north end. Here we go. So before we go that way, we're going to head over this direction. This is a new expansion of the Highline. One of the cool things the city is doing is they're just allowing it to be expanded more and more to give pedestrians and people more places to go walk around, which is really cool. I read an article not too long ago saying that they were going to be extending the Highline, I'm assuming this path specifically, all the way to 34th Street, Penn Station, which would be pretty cool. Here's some art thing. It's a horse that is made of beads or something, and it's lounging on the bench there. All right. Too bad I didn't think of that. There's another art installation by a similar artist. If someone is sitting there, if one of those things jumps up and tries to attack me, I'm gonna jump off the Highline. It's probably only about 20 feet, so I'm not sure I would do much damage other than broken legs or something. I better not. Better to just not jump off of a structure. One of the interesting things about walking the Highline is how close you end up coming to some of the residences and offices in the area. And it's one of the things, I guess, when you move here, you can expect maybe to get better blinds, I don't know. Or just be ready for people to look into your apartment all the time. So here's a big drone. Okay. Is there any information about it? You can learn more about drones. It's a little dark, but you're not missing anything, I promise. What is a drone? This is a Predator drone. Okay. Not what I thought this was going to be over here. That's fine. Pause briefly to enjoy the oncoming traffic. That's 10th Avenue. Running uptown. Come over this way, over her. And this is 30th Street. I buried the lead here a little bit. You can't really see it. Actually, I'm a bit taller than... That's the Empire State Building. That's an award-winning shot of the Empire State Building. Blue and white, I'm assuming to continue the celebration of Hanukkah. I think we're like 4th or 5th night the day I'm filming this. All right, let's make some moves. The Highline's so fun to walk during the day. I really wanted to give it a shot at night. I've been here a couple times. I think we might have even filmed a live stream here at one point last season. But it's just such a cool place. And it's kept up really nice. And it's just a really nice walk. And it kind of gives you a slice of nature directly on top of New York City, which is fun. Just displays of bags, I guess. That's how we display packages of rice in our pantry. Elevator bay, wherever that is. I think this is the edge up here. I think we're, yeah. I'm not 100% sure what building that is. It's hard to tell, especially because there's a thing above us. One of the cool things about the Highline is you'll see exposed train track ever so often in here. We'll go into a little bit of the history of the Highline as we go going. But if you give you the quick version, they built the Highline on abandoned elevated railroad tracks. I'm just gonna let these people go ahead in front of us. There's no dogs allowed on the Highline, so they're just gonna carry their 30-pound dog the entire length, which doesn't seem feasible, but whatever.
Because that means you'll get seats. They're getting very. I think they'll make it. It's kind of crazy because all right, we got a coffee. Okay.
I also would be scared.
So the Highline was constructed in the mid 1800s as a way to keep freight that was being moved down 10th Avenue and 11th Avenue from interfering with public safety. There were quite a lot of vehicular homicides that happened during that time because of the freight that was being run on the street. So in the mid 1800s, they built the Highline to run a small portion of the city. And it went for a long time until 70s or so, and that's when trains sort of dwindled. They started to get into more efficient ways of transporting goods. And finally in the 80s, they basically just abandoned this whole area. And it sat abandoned until 1999, when a group of individuals decided they were going to take on the task of rebuilding this into a park. It was in absolute disarray when they started. And they're using a lot of the same.
How I operate, but it is a thing. Some people definitely do that.
They're using a lot of the same vegetation that they used here. That was here since it was abandoned. A lot of weed sort of looking foliage, but it really lends itself. So during the 80s and 70s, late 70s and early 80s on into the 90s, when this was abandoned, this was just kind of a haven for kids and punks and whoever else wanted to hang out up here to come up and just cause mischief. It's so silly now to think that this railroad is now next to some of these apartments that are millions of dollars. Obviously, you end up paying more money for an apartment that doesn't have an open window looking directly into the Highline. George Rickey statues, some sort of artwork. Looks like they're moving a little bit. Whatever they do, they're doing it. I hope everyone watching this is having a good winter season. If you're watching it much later on in the year, hope you're having a good time watching this and catching up. So we're going to be walking the Highline, the entire length of the Highline, from about 30th when we got on, and this goes all the way to a little bit south of West 12th, Gainsborough. So I think we're probably about a quarter of the way there, if I'll bet. I had to guess. There's a school here. People love taking up the entire walkways here. It's easy to pick out the tourists sometimes. Stay to the right. Just stay to the right, people, please. Without looking too much, there's definitely a Christmas tree up in that window there. It's not lit, so we'll give them a minute to set that up. But I am sort of excited to low-key creep on some Christmas decorations inside some of these apartments. Starting with that one right there, I see two Christmas trees. Lit Christmas trees. Very nice. Another Christmas tree down there. I see you, Christmas tree. I don't want to creep too hard, but if you got a Christmas tree and I can see it with the camera, I'm gonna record it. Oh, this guy's legit decorating the Christmas tree. Is this crossing the line? Is this a privacy concern for anyone? I want to watch him all day. Nice apartment. Thank you for doing your part to decorate. Appreciate that. Moving on, I suppose. Here's a wreath that's set up on the back end of this building. That's specifically for us, I'll bet.
Green.
Where's it at? There's backyard areas as well. So this is 23rd, I think. Oh man, I gotta go to the bank. I'll go to a different one. I'm not gonna make it to that one. This is 23rd, and that's 10th Avenue still. And we're still heading south. Got about 10 more blocks to go. Short blocks, though. So if you see, they do have elevator entrances up to the Highline. Check with them, obviously, to figure out where the closest one would be if you're coming here and require an elevator. So there's some couple hidden things here I'd like to show if I can avoid. There's a Andy Warhol there right next to someone's apartment, so we won't stay too long.
I mean, I think I would have earlier. I would have earlier.
I would pay $100 to not listen to the rest of their conversation. There's a big old random dog. Not even on a leash. What are we doing here, people? It's okay, I don't mind dogs. I'm not super fond of people breaking the rules, but I'm not confrontational in the slightest, so I won't even bother. It's a service dog. It's one of those service dogs that doesn't need to be around you.
He was so.
I guess, I don't know. He was wearing a cute little red vest that I'm sure you couldn't get on Amazon. Whatever. It's Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. If I've got you this long, I was wondering if you could maybe shoot off in the comments if you've listened to the podcast I have with my wife, Christmas Time in the City. We talk about all kinds of things in New York City, specifically the holidays, Christmas, Easter, and some of the other ones, just to bide time until Christmas comes again. I'm going to slow down again. Let some people pass us.
I know, bro.
So that's Chelsea Piers over there. You can't really tell. That's where they film a lot of the interior shots for Law and Order. There's also ice skating rink over there and a gymnastics center, and they do trapeze training on the roof. Pretty nuts over there. They're really maximizing their space. I believe I see a Christmas tree. Might have to get a shot of it when we get a little closer though. So let's try to figure out what is going on here. So there's projections all over the walls of eyeballs. There's a bird cage with lights, a chandelier in it. There's a bunch of roses. Looks like this had dinner, it looks like. Wine and stuff out there. So that's a private residence, it looks like. And they had a pretty crazy party, it looks like. I love the idea of buying projectors just to project art onto your walls. There's some Christmas trees up there. Look at this door. That's legit. I'm not sure what that leads into, but some type of business, I hope. Not a residence, because that's probably the worst place to have your front door lead out into. You got a little bit of a walk to get to the grocery store for sure. So these windows look pretty cool. They pop out a little bit. I don't know if you can tell that from the video. It is pretty dark. They're mirrored over here with very similar windows. Those big ones are real cool. And there's just some people talking. People talking up there too. I know what that is they're watching for sure. They're watching Blippi. The guy's everywhere. You can't get away from Blippi. At least I can't. Let's see what's going on over here. I think that gentleman may have been naked, so let's keep walking. Oh gosh. Okay. So looks like this part here is, there's some construction on this building off to our right, which is why they have the scaffolding set up here. The scaffolding is set up obviously to keep things from falling on people. So I welcome the scaffolding whenever possible, because the alternative is having pieces of buildings falling on you, which is no bueno. Here's a little shot of Empire State Building, blue and white for Hanukkah still.
Yeah, you're right. You're going out today. Oh yeah. I'm reading that, man. I think we'll probably yeah, right. We'll come back to the old order.
You wouldn't believe it if I told you, but there's a law against unnecessary horn honking here in the city. Christmas trees, if you're paying attention, like I am. Another one over here, and some lights. and it is very dark over there.
Probably add up to 16. It's gonna be a little.
Let's go down and take a look at what's going on over here. It looks like a sort of an amphitheater. I've never seen anything happen here, but it's just a cool spot to hang out. Trying to avoid getting into people's impromptu photo shoots. So I'll just walk around this way. So this is 10th Avenue, directly standing over 10th Avenue and 17th Street. West 17th Street, which doesn't matter too much because the 10th Avenue indicates that we're on the west side. Let's wait for some traffic to come underneath us and we will keep on going, but it could be a cool little shot. Did you know it's illegal to make a right-hand turn on red in New York City? If you're planning on getting a car while you're here, you should definitely know that. So many pedestrians that walk here that they have to implement laws like that to make sure people don't hit people that are slow to cross the crosswalk. You gotta honk, right? Onward. Artichoke Pizza. This is not a sponsor, but they have great pizza. If you ever find yourself around at Artichoke Pizza, there's several locations. Very good stuff. So for a frame of reference, just so you have an idea of what it's like here in the evening, it's about 6:23 currently, and it is incredibly dark. So you know it's winter when the lights go out super early. It gets dark about 4 o'clock here, 4:30. Starts to get dark a little bit earlier than that. This is a cool feature too. The Highline train tracks actually go inside or underneath or through certain buildings. So they were able to keep that like that for a lot of it here. This guy's filming a music video and I'm gonna pee my pants if I get too close because I'm gonna laugh directly at him. Oh gosh. Okay, keep it together, Chris. Keep it together. So, for anyone wondering how they do these sort of videos, cameraman is playing the song on his phone, and this guy is just doing some rapping and hand waving. That was a peak moment for the channel, I think, ladies and gentlemen. So, let's go ahead and slam the like button for our SoundCloud rapper friend, MC Highline. So this is Chelsea Market right here. Chelsea Market, the building is owned by Google. Their offices are in there, one of their offices. They have offices everywhere. Chelsea Market has some really good food options if you're ever here. Good tacos here for sure. And I've gotten some donuts there before that were pretty banging. my body has just reminded me that I do not have any caffeine in my system currently. So hopefully there's a coffee option when I get down. But as I'm saying that, I can remember there aren't that many coffee options, especially ones that be open this time of day. So we'll see. Coffee maker at home works. So you're not going to be able to tell this at all because there's so much light going on. But right here is the little island. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It's a new park, the first park that opened after COVID. It's floating over the Hudson River on poles. And before we get going any further, I hardly ever have opportunity to show these because people are always sitting on them like crazy. If you can tell, this is the train track there, and this chair right here, if you look, it's not a normal chair. It's a locked chair. There are wheels on it. I guess you can't, that's not the one to do. Some of the chairs move. Probably should have checked it out first before I tried to show you. But these are really cool places to sit. A lot of these spots tend to cater to the businesses in the area and a lot of people that work there. This is a good lunch spot for sure. Bring your lunch up here, hang out. So I would say we probably are maybe 4/5 of the way done with the walk. We're going to walk through another building here. Here's an original Banksy. It says Banksy, so it has to be true, right? I think there is a Banksy exhibit in the city currently, but I don't believe that's part of it. Very ominous music playing here. Pretty creepy. Not sure how much that picked up. And here we are at the Standard Hotel. Up ahead, it's another building that we're going to go underneath. When the Standard first opened and the Highline first opened, there were a lot of people up there showing the goods. We won't show too much just in case that pops up. No pun intended. So this is a fairly bright area here, huh? So this is the less glamorous part of the walk. but the most visible. Go figure.
Okay? So you have to eat, okay? So what do you like? Okay.
So we've effectively walked all the way to the meatpacking district. This is West 12th here. We'll continue walking this to the end just to say we did it. But here we are in the meatpacking district. There are some lights, it looks like, down there. But that'll have to be with our Christmas in the meatpacking district video. Some more train tracks.
I think it might be the standard.
And here's the real gem. Open public restrooms. So if you need to go, they're open now, which is nice, because those are usually few and far between. And so this is going to be the very end of the Highline, currently Gainsport. And this is going to do it for this video as well. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way up to this point if you've made it. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that, because we have a lot more content coming out to you over the next few weeks and on into the winter. Until next time, I'm Chris, and this is Christmas Time in the City.